To call Super Mario Odyssey's post-game big would be an egregious understatement when you consider the fact that there are more moons to collect throughout the game's various kingdoms than there are shines and stars in Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and both Super Mario Galaxy games combined. What's more is the sheer diversity of the moons you'll find as you revisit each area to see what new secrets there are to be found. You'll be stacking Goombas, riding scooters, and tracking down Peach if you aim to collect every star in Super Mario Odyssey, and that's only beginning to scratch the surface of the multitude of tasks to be completed on the journey to 100%. Inevitably, when all is said and done, 999 moons will have been tracked down across the 17 different kingdoms as you bring peace to the world and save Peach from Bowser's clutches once again. And while you visit many new iconic locations such as the excellent New Donk City and the colorful Mount Volbono, the nostalgia trip that is the Mushroom Kingdom is perhaps the most rewarding area to complete. While I won't argue that the Mushroom Kingdom is as innovative or creative as the Metro Kingdom or Bowser's Castle, I am nonetheless impressed at the level of detail put into this love letter to Super Mario 64. It starts with the grassy fields of the castle grounds and the recreation of Peach's castle, but there are so many references to be found when you start to explore the kingdom that even if you aren't a Super Mario 64 fan, you have to applaud the effort put in to take players back to the days of the N64. It's the perfect reward to kick off the post-game content considering how much Super Mario Odyssey is inspired by 64, as well as a nice surprise for anyone who didn't find the stage preview via the warp painting in Mount Volbono. And what makes it truly special is that in addition to all the wonderful callbacks, there is plenty of new content that helps the kingdom stand out on its own even without the references. Among my favorite stars in that category are the ones gained for locating and planting seeds in Toad's Hilltop Garden, the star obtained by bouncing off a bullet bill in a 2D bonus area, and the picture match minigame that's accessed via the mini rocket. I also enjoyed refighting many of the game's bosses, and though a little disappointed that they weren't more difficult, I'm glad you have a way to go back to fight them whenever you want. It was also nice to see references to other Mario games, like being able to visit Yoshi's house just to find that he's not there as you do in Super Mario World. All that being said, it's still the plethora of Mario 64 references that are the true highlight here, and are what define what makes the Mushroom Kingdom so great. The mission that best exemplifies the level of attention to detail in these callbacks is the star earned in the Courtyard Chest Trap. This star requires you to open a series of chests in a particular order, where if you fail, a number of undead enemies chase after you until you leave the area. Why this particular star stands out so vividly is because of how many references are layered one on top of the other. The most obvious among them is the fact that this is a mission that can only be accessed when Mario is equipped with his 64 hat and suit, and it takes place in the castle courtyard that was lifted directly from Super Mario 64. Likewise, the task of opening chests in a particular order is a common puzzle found throughout Super Mario 64, and the final chest in the sequence is in the exact location as the entrance to the level Big Boo's haunt would normally be. Though there are no boos in Odyssey's courtyard like there are in 64, the Chinkos that take their place when the puzzle is failed are also undead creatures themselves. Additionally, the statue in the center, famous for the L is real theory, has blurry, indistinguishable text just as it was in 64, undoubtedly as a nod to fans. And finally, much like the other areas in the Mushroom Kingdom, the mission replicates the camera angles exactly as they were in Super Mario 64. What amazes me is how they went above and beyond to pay homage to one of their most influential classics, despite the fact that they could have gotten away with doing much less. Even if this area had been completely new, I imagine just the inclusion of the 64 hat and suit would have been a suitable enough nod to 64 for most fans of the game. Instead, the Mushroom Kingdom is filled with additional callbacks that each add value to the nostalgic atmosphere they are trying to create. Things like having no music as you explore the castle grounds, making the regional coins resemble the coins in 64, animating 3D versions of the bubbly trees, and playing the Super Mario 64 jingle whenever you collect a star are all immersive features that replicate the feel of 64's world. Not to mention that the moons look exactly like the power stars that you would find throughout Peach's castle, which helps complete the Mushroom Kingdom's aesthetic. Along with the game's inherent 64-like movement, these elements combine to create a magical experience that makes the Mushroom Kingdom feel like the direct sequel to Super Mario 64 that we never got. Nothing may capture that feeling more than venturing into the many scattered lighthouses around the grounds, which each contain a familiar painting room that fans of Super Mario 64 will recognize right away. These serve as the portals to the various boss refights mentioned before, and much like the paintings in the original, they produce that satisfying and instantly recognizable sound upon entry, while continuing the tradition of spitting you out on your butt upon failure. But the cherry on top of these small little slices of nostalgia is how Peach's castle theme plays softly overhead, tying all these wonderful details together. However, another key point that makes the Mushroom Kingdom feel even more like it could be the start of Super Mario 64 2 is the inclusion of several secrets that reward the player for their knowledge of the N64's best-selling title. A few of my favorite examples are finding Yoshi atop the roof of Peach's castle, being able to drain the water in the moat surrounding the castle, and finding regional coins in the same place that you'd find a 1-up mushroom under the moat bridge. I also particularly like the star you get for staring at the castle's lobby ceiling, as unlike some of the other references that, even if you don't understand them, might be found organically, I doubt very many players who haven't played Super Mario 64 would think to stare at the ceiling for an extended period of time. It reminds me of how you can revisit Spiral Mountain in Banjo-Tooie, and by exploring areas that were important in Kazooie, you're able to discover secrets. With this in mind, it feels like everything in the Mushroom Kingdom serves to transport you to another world and make you forget that Odyssey is the Super Mario game you're playing. It's a testament to how natural Cappy feels to use, as it really feels like the natural evolution of Super Mario 64's brilliant gameplay. It creates some truly diverse missions and allows for dream scenarios like finally being able to play as Yoshi by capturing him with your hat. It's the ultimate fan service for fans of Super Mario 64 who hope to play as Yoshi back in the day, and a treat that's exclusive to the Mushroom Kingdom until the dark and darker side of the moon is unlocked. What this creates is nostalgia heaven for longtime fans of the Super Mario 3D platforming franchise. It is one of the many reasons that Super Mario Odyssey is a modern gaming masterpiece, as it is able to simultaneously produce one of the best gaming tributes ever made, while being packed to the brim with new, innovative concepts that push the boundaries of what a Mario game can be. For as many dumb decisions as Nintendo can make, games like Super Mario Odyssey with worlds like the Mushroom Kingdom remind me why they are in a position to make these kinds of mind-boggling choices in the first place. After all, only a company that is producing the kind of quality that is found in titles like Odyssey and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild could get away with a universally panned online service and a habit of making their older titles completely inaccessible to modern consumers. All things considered, as we rapidly approach Odyssey's 4th anniversary, I can't help but reflect on my time in its universe and appreciate the remarkable amount of effort and attention to detail that was put into this title. While Super Mario Odyssey may have better kingdoms, I'm not sure any of them illustrate the careful consideration put into each level as well as the Mushroom Kingdom does. It serves as a textbook example of how to appreciate and acknowledge your franchise's past while incorporating new features that enhance the experience. And for my money, the Mushroom Kingdom is one of the best post-game rewards in gaming history, and a world I look forward to playing once again in the not-so-far-off future.